Have you ever been to a place where the moment the sun goes down, the rules of reality change? This story takes place on my grandfather's old dairy farm in rural Ohio, a place where the fields grew more than just crops. They hid something none of the locals ever dared to speak about.
Back in the summer of 2016, I was sent to spend a few weeks at my grandpa's farm. It sat at the very end
of a dead-end gravel road, miles away from town, where cell service completely died. On my very first evening, my grandfather sat me down on the porch and gave me 3 strict rules.
Rule number 1. Never go past the tree line at the southern edge of the property after 7 p.m.
Rule number 2. The oil lantern hanging outside the old barn shed must remain lit every single night, no matter what. Rule number 3, and most importantly, if you hear someone calling your name cornfield at night, do not look out the window.
For the first 2 weeks, everything was quiet, but then came a terrible Midwestern thunderstorm. Around midnight, the power grid blew out, plunging the entire farm into pitch-black darkness. I looked out my bedroom window. The strong wind had knocked over the lantern by the barn shed. The flame was out. My grandfather had driven into town earlier to pick up supplies, leaving me completely alone. I thought to myself, it's just an unlit lantern, what's the worst that could happen? That's when I heard it. Slow, heavy footsteps crunching through the wet soil out in the field, heading straight toward the dark shed. Then, a voice called out from right outside my window. It was my mother's voice. Crying out in the rain, she said, "Sweetie, please open the door. I'm shivering out here in the dark." My heart sank into my stomach. My mother was back home in Chicago, hundreds of miles away. Who, or what, was standing outside in the storm pretending to be her? Slowly, with trembling hands, I pulled back the corner of the curtain. Through the pouring rain, standing at the edge of the tall corn, was a tall, unnaturally thin figure. Its neck was... I locked the door, backed into the corner of the room, and prayed for sunrise. When my grandfather returned at dawn, he found me shivering on the floor. He didn't ask what happened. He just picked up an old coffee can full of coarse salt, poured a thick, unbroken line along the edge of the yard, looked at me and said, "You looked out the window, didn't you?" To this day, I still get chills whenever I drive past an open field at night. If you ever find yourself in a place with strange rules, respect them, because some things out in the dark are just waiting for you to make a mistake.